Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new video. Today, it'll be the episode analysis of Disventure Camp All-Stars episode 10. Before this video begins, a few things to note. First off, I am not in ownership of the background footage, it is owned by Odd Nation Cartoons. Next, this is just my personal opinion analysis. If you have different ones, that's completely fine. Please just do respect mine as I respect yours. In my videos, I do sections to maintain organization and simplicity. The sections for this video are episode analysis, love triangle and Ashley elimination rant, who's going next, overall thoughts, conclusion. With all that out of the way, the video can begin with the first section, the episode analysis.
Thanks, Ellie. Miss you, babe.
The episode begins with the usual intro and recap, going straight to the Cyan team, with Aiden being sad for Tessa's end and how she didn't even do what she wanted to do in the game. With Gabby saying she deserved it for getting out Ellie, Tom and Aiden try to reason with Gabby and ask a bit, till Aiden just says that she's done for next. Gabby then pulls in Ellie and lies about having a totem. Then she asks about how to be evil to people who aren't even evil. As much as I would have loved to see Gabby being this mastermind of a villain, this works too. I can't take her seriously and she is such a treat to see this way. I'm enjoying every second of Gabby's screen time. Going to her confessional, she reveals that whenever she's in a tight spot, she thinks of what Ellie would do. She also makes Ellie's pose from episode 6 and says that she misses her with the heart hands. My Gabby and Ellie heart is adoring this. To Magenta, we have Jake unsure to apologize to Eli, with Ashley saying that he should and encouraging it. Eli is shown picking berries as the to come up, with Jake apologizing for what he had done to her and Ashley being proud. Eli doesn't really accept the apology, saying that she wants to see actions, not words of Jake's change. Jake gets pretty mad, to the point where he mentions Hunter. This causes the argument to go even further and Mad Ashley to awaken. And so much of me wishes we got to see more of Mad Ashley. Every time it was so entertaining, showed that things were going down, etc. She says that she gives up and that they were unbelievable as it goes to the 3 teams at the beach. Tess is revealed to be eliminated with a lie broken about it and Gabby admitting that she caused this. Crystal asks a few questions till it's eventually revealed it was time for merge. Crystal explains the base rules as people fight over which camp to stay at. Till it's revealed that it's a brand new camp, to which everyone is very annoyed at as Ashley is given the map. Yul then has a confessional just being Yul whenever Yul is leaving alone. Gret from insults, he's easily one of my favorites. However, he's always doing that still. This is one of my favorite lines from him, LOL. The villains go off with Tom and Aiden going off to get some supplies. Jake is saddened as Ashley comforts him, trying to lift his spirits, which he appreciates. Despite me being quite mixed on Jake right now, I do really like these two's friendship. It's really wholesome, especially how it ended. I hope these two keep in contact by the time the show ends. Going to the villains, Gret is asking Gabby if she is with them 100%, to which she says yes to. She also says she came up with a villain name, also saying she would make her costume later, then saying to do some crime. Yul makes a remark, to which Alec covers up by saying he's happy that she is on their side. Gabby then states her targets are literally every hero except Eli. This girl is so unpredictable and chaotic, I love it. She also threatens to oof them, to which the reactions are truly interesting. Gret wants to clarify what Gabby just said as Rhea asks the others what tension they could use. Gabby, though guilty, the good of Gabby is still there. She's just very unstable right now and blinded by revenge. Mentions that Tom and Aiden have had issues with Jake. Going to Aiden and Tom. Aiden makes a snide remark about Jake, to which Aiden gives Tom the advice to try and talk about the issues Jake and him are having, which he listens to as he follows Jake as he leaves the main group to a certain place. I didn't even realize this at first, but I saw a few posts showing that this is actually where these two became canon in the first season. OUCH. What hurts worse is that Jake specifically went here and is specifically holding his heart. For all the crap I give the love triangle, this is actually a really nice and interesting detail. To the conversation itself, this is probably the best thing to come out of this love triangle. They are both communicating, both handling the situation at hand maturely. Why can't we get more of this as well? For some of the flack I give for Jake this episode, the way he went about this conversation was just amazing. In it, it's mostly discussed Tom's lie. Nothing more or less, but it's a step in the right direction. Anyway, Crystal comes with her megaphone to wake up the campers. Yul complains, with Crystal saying he forfeited and is out, to which Gabby laughs at same girl same, then it's revealed it's a joke. The rest of the campers come out as Crystal explains the challenge, paintball same one from Season 1, Episode 1, except individual, and Yul gets shot as an example, already an upgrade. The villains alliance go into groups Alec and Rhea, Gret, Yul and Gabby, the peak of this episode. The Magenta team and Aiden and Tom go together as we flip to Emily getting fired thanks to the snitch. I do understand why Oliver did it, it's his job after all, and I do get why Crystal fired her, however I am salty because I really wanted to get to know Emily more. Also, I just can't get over that Oliver appeared for the first time in 7 episodes just to be a snitch, then is just gone again, like, going to Tom and Aiden. Tom gives Aiden a lift to go into the tree, explaining he would lead the villains there and Aiden would shoot them down once led there. Genius strategy if only someone didn't mess it up. Going to Magenta, they are discussing votes as Jake says he isn't ready to work with Aiden and Tom, and while Ashley is yelling at Jake, Eli gets shot by the paintball and therefore Jake and Ashley run off. Going to Gret, Gabby and Yul, Gabby and Gret are chatting about the past as Gret is still quite annoyed. With Gabby, I'm still thinking they could become friends from Yul's treatment of her. In any case, Yul decides to join the conversation by making a mean comment about Gret's looks yet again. Yul continues as Gabby defends Gret and says she would never say this to Ellie. Something really interesting then happens. Gabby says if he continues, she would leave the alliance. Why does part of me think this could be how the heroes manage to save themselves? Thanks to Yul's own stupidity, Tom then shoots down Yul as Gret and Gabby follow him with the plan Tom came up with working as Aiden manages to shoot Gret and Gabby. Also rest in peace the Tom and Gabby friendship. Going to Trevor and Emily, Trevor is sad to see Emily go as Emily says goodbye and that he needs to stop chickening out and finally tell Derek his true feelings, then they hug wholesomely. Back to Tom, he shoots down Ashley thinking it was Rhea. Despite them being nothing alike, anyway, Ashley is really nice about it and moves right into her point. They need to get Aiden, Jake, and Eli to all be able to work together, and also she says that later they could discuss Tom's treatment towards Jake. In the end, Tom agrees with Ashley and agrees to help. Part of me wishes we got to see more of these interactions, because seeing these two interaction was awesome. Tom then goes and shoots down Rhea as Alec follows to avenge. Aiden then accidentally shoots Jake, with Jake taking it pretty personally, shooting down Aiden right back. This causes the two to go through a huge fight, both agreeing to not make up and to not vote together. Tom returns, confused on why Aiden isn't in the tree, and is very annoyed when he learns that they are still fighting. And in that time, Alec takes advantage and manages to win immunity for himself. Both Aiden and Jake decide to target one another, Jake being the first to choose, even saying he should rot dead. That just wow. Ashley tries to get Jake back on the smart path to vote for a villain, but Jake doesn't care at all. Aiden tells Tom they have to vote for Jake, with Tom trying to not make that happen, trying to say they should stick to voting for Rhea as long as Aiden's here, as long as the target for the heroes is Rhea. Both Alec and Rhea have confessionals about the coming elimination ceremony. Speaking of it, part of the next section is about Ashley's elimination, so that actually ends this section. Moving on to the next, which is the love triangle and Ashley elimination rant.
Thanks, Ellie. Miss you, babe.
Hello everyone, here I am with my real voice to discuss the love triangle, Jake and Ashley's elimination, since these are all main episode 10 focuses and I have a lot of thoughts I want to bring on them. So I'm going to be starting off with the love triangle. I'll be going into basically why I don't like the love triangle. Spoiler alert, I know, what a shocking revelation. And then I'll be going into the characters in the love triangle, which includes Jake. Then I'll be moving on to Ashley's elimination, because ending with positivity after the love triangle. Starting with why I dislike the love triangle. First off, I feel like, again, this is one of the most frustrating plots in Disventure Camp history for the main reason it is dragging out so much longer than it needs to. This is all an issue on miscommunication. If these people just sat down and talked for just a little longer, I feel like you could fix most of these issues, if not all. I mean, there's some undermining, but you can at least try with communication. But instead, they're avoiding communication like it's the plague, and they're finally starting. It has taken 11 episodes, actually, no, an entire year, something like that, for these people to actually have a mature conversation. And it's also so frustrating to me because this is taking up so much screen time. This love triangle, this thing is taking up so much of the screen time that could be given to potential arcs. Let's actually rewind and see how many people were sacrificed for this darn love triangle to get more screen time. We sacrificed Fiore. She could have made up with Allie, but let's sacrifice that for the love triangle. Allie could have gone redemption arc, maybe that's my bias, but I feel like that would be a lot more entertaining than watching the love triangle. We also sacrificed Tess to the love triangle, which was not necessary. We could have seen her actually have more dynamics, and maybe we actually could see her have an arc of some kind. Ashley was also sacrificed to the love triangle partially, because all this girl did the entire season was support Jake. Like, I'm sorry, but I know Ashley could be so much more than just Jake's support beam, but instead she has to because love triangle. The love triangle has encapsulated and taken over this entire darn season. For what reason? I have not seen one comment. I have not seen one post. I have not seen one video that's like, oh yeah, this love triangle is awesome. I have seen none of that. It is annoying. It is frustrating to watch. Now, I feel like this argument can also be made to the Gray Mule plot because it is dragging out in a slow burn. However, I feel like that's a bit different due to the fact that not only this is very interesting because it's really toxic, but it's also really slow burn. I feel like that helps the plot instead of drags it down. With the love triangle, it's so much more of an issue of communication, while the toxic relationship between Yul and Gret has so many more layers, I would say, at least from what we've seen, and it's a lot more interesting, so I feel like the slow burn works so much more well on that than it does here. It works well there because, again, the plot works with it, but this one here, it's just frustrating. And also, the Gret and Yul plot does not take over your screen. They have like 1 or 2 scenes at most, and that's it. Then you continue to the next episode, and sometimes they don't even get scenes at all for the Yul and Gret plot. It's not taking up all over your screen. The love triangle, on the other hand, is. So that's why. Now let's move on to the characters in the love triangle. Starting off with Aiden. I feel like this stupid plot is bringing down Aiden as a character severely. First off, in season 2, Aiden is just really bland. So when I saw him coming back, I was like, oh, he's gonna grow as a character. We're gonna get to learn. And I was even more pumped when I saw James and Lenko. Alright, yes, Aiden, we can finally, and we did, for a few episodes anyway. We learned a bit more about him. We learned that he's a musical theater kid again. But now he's just become Tom's sidekick, and he has stayed way too long. Tell me a reason why Aiden should have stayed over Fiore, Ellie, Tess, and Ashley. I don't get why. Why keep him in if all he's gonna do is be Tom's sidekick? In fact, all he is a sidekick to Tom and Jake's plot right now, and that's all he has been the entire season, which is so frustrating because I wanted to see him grow as a character and become more instead of just do another floating, because that's what he's doing right now. And I don't think he's going anytime soon either, because it's not like the Villain Alliance is going to target Aiden. You really think they're going to target Aiden? Tom is still in the game? Yeah, no. So he's going to be here for the long run, and he's not having any arc to support that. It's becoming another season 2 situation with him, and it is so frustrating. Speaking of frustrating, let's move on to Tom. I do not know what happened to him in the past few years, but he's lost all his communication skills, has become a hypocrite, and as well, it's just dumb. Look, I get it. You want to give Tom some flaws. Yes, and make him more interesting. But I don't get why becoming really stupid is one of them. Like, how is he this dumb? Oh my gosh. Alright. But I still do like Tom. I like his growth and how he wants to not get hurt again. I do think that's interesting. But I feel like that's become too little too late. The line about him having a fake boyfriend. And it's just, oh my gosh. He becomes frustrating in this plot, and which makes me mad because, again, this is Tom's only plot. This is it. I mean, you can argue that Tom and Aiden, but I consider that part of the Tom and Jake plot, so in the end, that is Tom's only plot, and it is so frustrating and annoying, which in turn, like, I have seen so many Tom, really big fans of him, go really down on him because of this season. I mean, that goes for a lot of other characters, but I think my point still stands. And then, oh my gosh, Jake. I'm gonna try and summarize this because I think I could rant about Jake for an hour and I'd still not be fully finished with him. That is how far and deep this character can go. And he's also so controversial. It is an entire story, but in summary, I feel like anytime Jake makes any sort of development, goes 3 steps forward, it moves all the way back to square one. And I'm not saying development happens overnight. It doesn't. But this has happened 5 times already. 5 times we have seen go 3 steps forward, square 1. At this point, it is so tiring and so annoying because I want to like Jake as a character, and there are times I absolutely do. I like seeing him on screen, but then it's like the next episode, he pulls something stupid. Like this episode is prime example. I swear, I think he has an episode 10 curse. I think Jake has that curse. I don't know though. And again, it is so frustrating. I could go again on an entire rant about him this episode. I'm just gonna try and separate. I liked how he handled the Tom situation. I'm not a fan of him and Allie's rivalry in the slightest. This man really just told Aiden that he needed to croak for, what did he do to, like, Aiden obviously is nothing nice to Jake, and I'm not defending him for that. But what I am saying, I don't think Aiden deserves to croak for that. That's all I'm saying. I think that's a little far on you, Jake. Really far on you. And maybe Ashley going will be a turning point, but at this point I am just so tired of seeing every piece of development he gets be thrown into the garbage the next episode for whatever the plot needs for him. It's just... But Jake ain't going anywhere time soon. He's the main protagonist of the season. I feel like that's undebatable. I don't want him to win though. I really don't. He got the money he needed from Miriam. He don't need no win. So moving on to Ash's elimination, because positively, first off, the Villains Alliance did awesome. Eliminate Ashley, go off. Incredible move right there. I loved it. As well, just seeing the heroes realize, maybe they'll finally get it together because their bickering ain't gonna give them $3 million. I mean, this is a game. Get your stupid grudges out of here and focus. But yeah, I really enjoyed Ashley's goodbye elimination. It was just really well done, really well handled. I think that's something the season has done pretty well on, except for your worst elimination. That elimination makes me mad, but otherwise I feel like all the eliminations are really well done and well handled. Alrighty, let's get back to the video.
Thanks, Ellie. Miss you, babe.
Now, on to who's going next. For this, someone suggested this new format, so thanks to them. This will be 2 where I will go over who the villains would most likely target and who the heroes would most likely target and whatever else. Starting with the villains, I think they'll go for Tom next. Given that he's the biggest threat in challenges besides them, if they figure out that he's trying to make the heroes have peace as well, they will try and snipe him out in an instant. And even looking at the other options in terms of heroes they have, Jake Drama Maker, Aiden, No Threat, and Eli the Outlier. There's no reason here to not pick Tom, adding on to the fact Gabby would be overjoyed about him going, sadly. Moving on to who the heroes would target, I'm thinking one of 2 people. Starting with the obvious target, Rhea. This is the one the heroes have been desperately trying to get out and also failing severely at doing so. I don't see why they would stop unless the following scenario occurs. Knowing Gabby's threat and how she plays emotionally, I fully see her willing to flip to the heroes for 1 round just to eliminate Yul, just because of his comments, which would turn the villain alliance loose into shambles. Fully see her willing to do this, and it's not like any of the heroes would be against this. We're talking about Yul here. Now, some of these theories could definitely change given the trailer releasing next week. But we will see. With this section finished, the next section can commence. Overall thoughts.
Thanks, Ellie. Miss you, babe.
I honestly loved this episode, one of my favorites so far. The villains, Alliance, and Gabby were awesome, the elimination was handled great, the interactions were fun, and the challenge yet a repeat had some nice action and some fun in it. I'd say my only negatives right now is the fact love triangle and that Aiden is still here, despite having no real arc or reason to be here. Interested to see what happens next. On to the final section of this video, the conclusion.
Thanks, Ellie. Miss you, babe.
What were your thoughts on this episode? I would love to hear in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching today's video, and I hope to see you again on the channel. Have an amazing day, night, see you next time.